Here's your wrestling news for November 29th, 2021. And your headlines for today include, didn't even get a best of luck. John Morrison details WWE release in first statement. Where are Kofi Kingston and Mustafa Ali? Is Asuka still with WWE? Bryan Danielson never considered signing with WWE as cashing out. A backstage shoot fight in WWE that never came to light. Sasha Banks opens up about requesting her WWE release in 2019. Big E thinks AEW fan reactions should inspire WWE to raise their game. WWE places Drew McIntyre in recycled storyline. Former WWE superstar reveals new in-ring name. Edge asks fans who they want to see him feud with on Monday Night Raw, and more. We're starting off today with John Morrison, who was released from WWE earlier this month, less than 2 years into his WWE return. A former Intercontinental Champion, Morrison had kept quiet since his release, but in an Instagram video, he broke his silence with a statement, saying, "I want you all to know how grateful I am for the support you gave me during this past run with WWE. I also want you to know that I did in fact receive a phone call from John Laurinaitis, during which he told me that my services as a talent were no longer required by WWE. Didn't even get a best of luck in your future endeavors. I mean, if you're gonna let me go, at least get your catchphrase, right?" Speaking about his character, which was both eaten alive by zombies and became a yoga guru earlier this year, Morrison said it was important to not take yourself too seriously, and said making yourself look bad to make someone else look good is such an important part of what he does. Morrison went on to say that returning to WWE meant so much because it gave him the chance to reconnect with old friends and make new ones, and spoke of a time when he stood in the empty arena, realizing it'd soon be filled with fans who expected an excellent performance. The former WWE superstar finished by calling himself a storyteller, and that his athletic ability is just a tool to help tell a story, and closed by saying when one chapter ends, another begins. There's no word on where Morrison will go next, as he's waiting out a non-compete clause, but with a huge amount of in-ring talent and status as a wrestling veteran, we expect a huge offer to be made by AEW and other promotions when his clause expires in early 2022. WWE released a lot of names in November alone, but despite a much smaller roster than this time last year, WWE are having to close out 2021 without two important names. Fightful Select reports that both Kofi Kingston and Mustafa Ali will be out for at least the next few weeks, as both men's respective wives recently gave birth. It's noted that both men requested the time off ahead of time, and WWE approved, which explains why neither man was on TV for the last couple of episodes. It was also said that Ali was meant to be at Survivor Series in an unspecified role, but his growing family obviously came first. Both men recently became fathers for the third time, and we're pleased that the two are able to support their wives at this important time. When Asuka joined WWE in 2015, she was the first female Japanese signing in over 20 years, and has had a career of ups and downs. The former Raw, SmackDown, and NXT Women's Champion hasn't been seen since this year's Money in the Bank in July, where she competed in the women's ladder match, and some fans have questioned whether she's quietly been released. That isn't the case, as Asuka is still listed as an active superstar, but hasn't been wrestling due to an injury. In a previous social media post, Asuka let fans know that she finally got her tooth replaced when it was knocked out by Shayna Baszler earlier this year, but in that post, the Empress of Tomorrow is also wearing an arm sling. There's no word on what kind of arm injury Asuka is dealing with, but recent reports have suggested that she's close to returning after spending much of 2021 on the shelf. The rumored plan is for Asuka to make her return as a surprise entrant in the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble match, which would be fitting for the woman who won her first Rumble in 2018. In her 6 years with WWE, Asuka is the only woman to win all women's titles based in the US, as well as both the Women's Rumble and Money in the Bank, and we can only hope she can match this success when she returns, reportedly in January. When Daniel Bryan left WWE in April this year, fans speculated on whether AEW would be able to sign him in what would be one of their biggest signings ever. Sure enough, Bryan Danielson debuted for Tony Khan at September's All Out, which was a smart business decision for Bryan, who said he felt detached competing at WrestleMania 37. Speaking to the Wrestling Classic, Danielson turned back the clock to before he even made it to WWE and said that he had low expectations when he first considered signing with WWE, but did so anyway. Danielson's reason for signing was that he didn't know how much longer his health could take the grueling work on the independent circuit and realized that he'd be allowed a greater level of comfort in WWE. The former WWE World Champion was quick to state that he never saw it as cashing out, but realized that he could make a better life for himself working for WWE than continuing on the independents. Sure enough, Danielson made himself a very successful man in WWE, becoming one of the company's top stars, and while he may have turned up in AEW eventually had he never joined WWE, working for Vince McMahon and becoming a household name has certainly helped Bryan Danielson. Now, Kurt Angle is one of the most gifted professional wrestlers to ever enter the squared circle, as he was able to hold his own with anyone in the ring or out of it. In WWE, Angle was good friends with Eddie Guerrero, but on at least one occasion, the pair had a backstage fight, which Angle recalled during an interview on Talk Is Jericho. Angle said that this fight came during a 2004 SmackDown where he, Luther Reigns, and Mark Jindrak attacked Eddie as part of the show, but Guerrero was livid backstage, accusing Angle of using stiff shots to legitimately hurt him. When Kurt denied the claim, Eddie made the unwise decision to try and take down the Olympic gold medalist in freestyle wrestling, and it wasn't long until Angle got a headlock in and was starting to choke Guerrero out. Guerrero would have been out cold if not for the intervention of the Big Show, who picked up Angle with one hand and put him in a corner, telling both men they were done. Angle was furious with Show at the time, telling him, "Don't ever touch me like that again," but later tried to make amends with Eddie, which didn't go well. I felt bad, so I go to Eddie's locker room to apologize. I get back there and I knock on the door. He opens the door and doesn't say anything. I said, "Eddie, listen, I just want to say I'm sorry." You know what Eddie said to me? "I'm not ready yet." So I go inside and I started whacking him. I'm fighting Eddie and we're throwing punches. Bradshaw pulled us apart and is like, "Guys, you've got to stop." I'm like, "Well, I said I was sorry and this asshole doesn't want to say he's sorry back." But that's Eddie. Eddie's going to apologize when he wants to, and I should have known that. Eddie was known as Latino Heat because of the fire and passion he brought to his matches, but as Kurt Angle learned firsthand, Guerrero was just as hot-headed out of the ring as he was in it. Eddie Guerrero inspired countless wrestlers with his in-ring passion, but few were more inspired than Sasha Banks. Inspired to become a wrestler because of Guerrero, Banks has had an incredible WWE career, but things haven't always gone as she'd hoped. At WrestleMania 35, she and Bayley lost the women's tag team titles to the Iconics, and it was reported that the pair caused a scene backstage during the show. Sitting down with Ariel Helwani, Banks was asked about the rumors, and the blueprint of WWE confirmed that she did request her release at the time. Vince McMahon denied her request and instead implored her to take as much time away to rekindle her passion for wrestling. I felt like I wasn't giving my highest good. So if I'm not giving my highest good, if I'm not being the best, if I'm not being used as the best, then I've got to go find that. I'm always that performer wanting to be number one, and I felt in my heart that I just wasn't feeling good. I wasn't feeling good, so I felt like I did all that I could, and I needed that break. I needed that release. And then Vince told me no, and that was a great decision on both ends because he knew what he saw. He's so smart, he's so kind, he's so gentle. He actually knew what I needed, which was time. At the end of the point, all of us just needed a little time. Some people may be frustrated at their boss for denying their request for a release, but Banks called it a blessing in disguise, saying, "Initially, no, I wasn't upset at him because I just needed time. I have so much respect for him. If he's like, okay, if you need time, I'll give you time. I just needed time." Banks would spend much of 2019 away before returning on the August 12th Raw, and with a career that's seen her win the SmackDown Women's title and headline WrestleMania, it was for the best that McMahon didn't grant her release 2 years ago. 2021 has been the year of Big E, whose WWE title victory, nearly a decade after his main roster call-up, was a long time coming. Sitting down with the Illuminati recently, Big E spoke about the present state of wrestling and said it's in a good spot as we head toward the end of the year. Big E added that he'd love to see WWE step up in the face of recent changes to the industry's landscape, but didn't go AEW's route of bashing the competition. He said, "I know from a fan perspective, a lot of people would prefer that I come in here and trash talk everyone in AEW and stir the pot, but that's not my style." The WWE champion admitted to watching AEW's TV shows and pay-per-views, and he's impressed by the passion of their fans, and it's now up to WWE to meet the challenge that competition brings. I think it forces us to raise our game. If you watch their shows and you see rabid fans or people losing their minds and people loving these shows, it should make us want to say, yo, we want to be dominating them. We want to step our game up. We want to put on the better show. The rise of AEW has proven to be an attractive landing spot for superstars released from WWE, which the reigning WWE champion singled out as a welcome change to the industry. I think it's just also very good we have men and women who may not fit here in WWE, who may not want whatever it is. But now they have a place they can go, and they can wrestle, they can make money, they can live their dream, they can be on TV, so I think that's great. Speaking about representation in wrestling, Big E said he's excited about the growing diversity of talent around these days, but also wants to know that opportunities for black wrestlers are earned, not given. We don't want a quota system. We don't want a system where, oh, we need more diversity, so let's just put some random black talent or person of color in this position just because we need more diversity. No, when you saw Sasha and Bianca main event on night 1 of WrestleMania, to me, it was a no-brainer. It wasn't a gift that they were given. No, they were incredible characters, incredible personalities, incredible in the ring. They put on a classic. They deserved to be there. They killed it. They owned that moment. Big E said he's hopeful that WWE and all pro wrestling will continue to move forward and that he wants to see opportunities for wrestlers of all backgrounds. I hope that our roster just reflects the world that we live in, and whether it's black talent, LGBTQ talent, Hispanic talent, Japanese talent, I think we should continue to reflect the society and world that we live in. The 4th black WWE champion after The Rock, who's half black, half Samoan, Kofi Kingston, and Bobby Lashley. We'll have to see what Big E does next as the WWE champion leads Raw into the new year. Now, Drew McIntyre has been a top star of the past 2 years, but the former WWE champion has been in something of a rut as of late. After losing the championship feud to Bobby Lashley earlier this year, McIntyre's only major feuds have been an underwhelming story with Jinder Mahal and a brief, predictable feud with Big E, and he's otherwise been going through the motions despite a move to SmackDown. According to Dave Meltzer, WWE does have a plan for the Scottish Warrior, and it all started last week when he wasn't in the Black Friday Battle Royal. On his show, Meltzer explained that WWE is going to be recycling the classic story of a wrestler being screwed over by authority figures, and said that McIntyre not being in last Friday's match was the start of that. Meltzer went on to say that this angle will get into full swing once Brock Lesnar is back around, but called WWE out for repeating stuff from the past. The authority targeting a superstar angle is something we've seen plenty of times before, from Steve Austin to Daniel Bryan to even Naomi right now. But with Brock vs. Reigns planned for WrestleMania, WWE is already planning the next big challenger for after April 3rd. Earlier this month, WWE released Nia Jax, which came as a shock given her dominant run in the company. A former Raw Women's and Women's Tag Team Champion, many thought Jax would be a WWE lifer, but will be working under a different name going forward. On social media, the Irresistible Force has changed her name to Lena Fanine, as WWE owned the trademark for Nia Jax and presumably her several nicknames. The former superstar was released after requesting an extension in her break to work on her mental health and has said her vaccination status wasn't a factor in WWE's decision, but only time will tell what Lena Fanine does once her non-compete clause expires next year. And we're ending today with Raw, as tonight's show will mark the return of Edge, who hasn't been seen since his crown jewel victory over Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell. With Rollins in the rearview mirror, fans are excited to see who the Hall of Famer will feud with next, and have been giving their own suggestions for potential stories. When Edge himself asked who he should face, fans were quick to respond, with AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, and Bobby Lashley all being suggested. Edge's wife and fellow Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix responded with a gif of Finn Balor, and several fans suggested United States champion Damian Priest as the Rated R Superstar's next feud. Priest has said that Edge is a dream opponent for him, and that the two embraced after Priest's huge US title win over Sheamus at SummerSlam. But it could be the ultimate opportunist who takes that title away from the Archer of Infamy in the not-too-distant future. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.